Hello and welcome. Let us discuss this question that came in the year 2014 and is related to the topic environmental legislation. The question is, with reference to eco-sensitive zones, which of the following statements are correct? First, eco-sensitive zones are the areas that are declared under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. And the second statement is, the purpose of the declaration of eco-sensitive zones is to prohibit all kinds of human activities in those zones except agriculture. Now, first of all, what are protected areas? Protected area networks, protected areas like wildlife sanctuaries, national park or biosphere reserve. Wildlife sanctuaries and national park are declared under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. National park is habitat specific, that is an area which is ecologically fragile or ecologically sensitive and there is a requirement of protection of that area. Then national park is declared. So this is habitat specific under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. As far as wildlife sanctuaries are concerned, then they are species specific. For example, any species that require special attention for their protection, that is species like tiger, gharial, wild buffalo, so wildlife sanctuaries are created for their protection. So both these are created under Wildlife Protection Act 1972, whereas biosphere reserves are international recognition given by UNESCO, and these are protected areas to conserve environment along with human. To conserve environment along with human, including human. Including human. So if we see protected areas, for example, this is a protected area. Protected areas like national parks are such areas that are so much protected that various activities are not allowed in protected areas. Whereas eco-sensitive zones act as buffer areas. If this is protected area, then within 10-kilometer boundary, eco-sensitive zones are created. So they act as buffer zone. And various activities are allowed in eco-sensitive zones. These areas are also ecologically fragile areas, and they are created to minimize man-animal conflict and also to minimize the ill effect of urbanization and industrialization. So, various activities that are not permitted in eco-sensitive zones or eco-sensitive areas are construction activities or urbanization are not allowed, settlement are not allowed in eco-sensitive zones. But the important fact regarding eco-sensitive zones are they are created under Environmental Protection Act 1986. So they are not created under protected areas are created under Wildlife Protection Act, whereas eco-sensitive zones are created under EPA 1986, Environmental Protection Act 1986. So this statement is incorrect. Also, the purpose of the declaration of eco-sensitive zones is to prohibit all kinds of human activities. This is also incorrect. except agriculture, because agriculture, horticulture and various activities are allowed as far as eco-sensitive zones are concerned. So if we see this eco-sensitive zones, then they are fragile areas, ecologically fragile areas within 10 kilometer boundary around protected area. Protected area networks are created under Wildlife Protection Act and Biosphere and recognized by UNESCO, but they eco-sensitive zones are falls under section 3 of Environmental Protection Act 1986. The permitted activities as far as eco-sensitive zones are concerned, then they are agriculture, horticulture, organic farming, rainwater harvesting, scientific research, tourism, etc. Also, these areas are best suited for in situ conservation. In situ conservation is basically in situ conservation, species are conserved in site only, native to the site. Whereas in case of ex situ conservation, they are conserved away from the site. For example, botanical garden, zoos can be the example of ex situ conservation. Whereas in situ conservation, the conservation is done in the site only. So answer for this question will be neither 1 nor 2. Both the statements are incorrect because eco-sensitive zones are formed under Environmental Protection Act 1986 and there are few activities including agriculture like horticulture, scientific research, tourism, they are also permitted in eco-sensitive zones. Whereas few activities which are not permitted to minimize the impact of urbanization and industrialization are construction activities or the hazardous industries are not permitted to be settled in eco-sensitive zones. Thank you.